界に存在してる意味を知りたくない。バクバクビニーハウン、バキバキバニーハウン、今を取り巻く全てのこと核からのメッセージ。バクバクビニーハウン、バキバキバニーハウン、そこに隠れてても何も始まんない。閉ざされてたドアをその足で壊せ。目に見える不安を数えて止まらないで。夢のルール破ってく。目に見えないつながり信じて動き出そう。 You got to change, breaking the chain 飛ばしてけ明日へ。 Don't be afraid, what is your stage? Go! 君の大人な像とイメージめくるめく Amazing。 バクバクビニーハウン、バキバキバニーハウン、奏でてもっと派手に自由を重ね合えば Duo。 バクバクビニーハウン、バキバキバニーハウン、君はありのままで特別な存在。運命とは自分で切り開くもんさ。誰だって一人なんてことありえなくて。自分のルーツ探してく。そこにある確かな絆を忘れないで。 You got to change, breaking the chain ありったけの強さで Don't be afraid, what is your stage。 受け継ぐものと君が作るものきっとそれが証明に君だけのハーモニーこそ積み上げて Time's now, starting now, break the chain。 枕にしたら深呼吸青空になる。目を開けててもつぶっても同じ景色は過ぎてゆくけど今見てなくちゃ気づけない。
走り出さなくちゃ変わらない君を連れて行こう争いのない未来まで君と過ごした思い出をアルバムに残して僕は君を連れて行こう悲しみのない未来まで君がくれた笑顔だけポケットにしまって僕は青空になる君を連れて行こう争いのない未来まで君と過ごした思い出をアルバムに残して僕は青空になるわからない答え探すより挑戦してみるのがホームワークできないのじゃなく根拠のない弾き返してやれば途方もない夢を見つけるかも表向きは大優勝してても裏返せば普段別の顔見極めたいインディビジュアリティ揃えば天に昇ります You ready 出会うためにケミストリー未来へつながってくガチャガチャドアを開けてからよく見合っていこう奇跡のパワーはミステイク違いこそ化学反応ガチャガチャ重ね合えば願いはもっとグローイなランクだとかロジカルな分析そんなんじゃ語れないフレンドシップどうぞわぎま
Good evening. Let me turn off the song display. Actually, we don't need that. We don't need that, and also I'm slightly too large right now. Ooh. So last time we convened for this, welcome in Gorgo, I was almost ready to deal with the big giant fly who makes all the rules. We're almost there. I just need to actually finish the grinding. What mantra was everyone on? Dark Lord, Atman, Secret God, Boltmaster, Demon Beast. Let's check my mantra chart real quick. Because I'm almost certain. Almost for sure certain. I do not have Death Resist available for Surf yet. Yeah. Yeah, I expected this. We're almost ready with Surf, though, so that's better than nothing. If you were wondering why I'm late today, because I did post my schedule this time. I made sure to post my schedule this time. It is because I woke up late, and then I went to the store to pick up some frozen vegetables. I had a pleasant walk there. The bus would have taken 37 minutes to arrive. Would have been very nasty. And then when I got there, I had a pleasant time dealing with the being in the store part. We just, yeah. Please don't run. Fuck. Every time. And then I hit 7-Eleven real quick. And I noticed a very fucked up looking hot dog. I'd found it. I found the mythical wizard finger. Never in a million years did I expect that I would find the mythical wizard finger. It's fucking real. I'd heard it spoken of in joke posts for years. It's real. The wizard finger is real. It wasn't even that good. I'm sorry to say it wasn't even that great. Like, I should have expected this, but I didn't. Here we go. Go. I fucking hate these guys. Alright, we pass. We pass. Please be enough. Perfect. Ooh. Since it is a Monday, hang on, I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, the Japanese style egg salad sandwiches that I genuinely love so much. Were only $5. Nice and discounted. So I have one of those hanging out in my bag for when I get hungry again. The meat I pulled out to defrost this afternoon is still frozen. So I might have to improvise. No, I don't want to set. I want to use my skills. There we go. Now, we are currently grinding because I want the null death and null expel passives for Surf. Because of the damage types and insta-kill abilities that Beelzebub, the boss we're currently grinding to kill, has. They're very annoying. They are quite vexing, one might choose to say. Genuine pain in my ass would also be apt. Oh no, she weakened our defenses. Oh fuck. What am I gonna do? Easy peasy. Okay, so we eternal rest. Oh boy, I sure hope reinforcements don't come. Fuck! Oh, this is perfect. This is beautiful. Yummy, tasty criticals. Alright, we deal that big boy critical damage. Fuck! Son of a bitch. Alright, now we're talking. If you were wondering why I'm grinding in this tunnel specifically, it is not because these enemies give a huge amount of Atma points, though. I will admit, they do give a substantial amount. It's because the enemies that you fight in this encounter before the Arahabaki reinforcements spawn have the potential to drop an item that consistently sells for a high amount. And if I want to get all the mantra I need, I'm going to want that money. In specific, the item is a theory cell, which I believe sells for about 25,000 at maximum solar noise. Please kill! Fuck. I wasted my resources on that. Son of a bitch. Now, this is probably our best money grinding spot until later on in the game, where there's an enemy that will consistently drop an item that will be able to actually increase our magic magic power. Only on characters who don't have it already maxed out, though. Surf is already kind of like set for the rest of the game. Son, are you kidding me? Only one of them? Two of them. All right, I can work with this. Oh, shit. All right, so we Meteorama. We Eternal Rest. All right, we get her in red. This is because I intend on having Heat actually deal the killing blow with Consume. Yumpy. Swallow that white woman in one whole bite. Does it count as Vor? Yes. Recently I've been thinking about what they're likely to change in a remake of this game, because Atlas has been slowly, like, lurching toward remaking their entire PS2 library, right? And the more I think about it, they're probably going to, are you fucking kidding me? They're probably going to at least, like, change the names of a bunch of mantras, because I'm already using a mod that changes them. Like, a bunch of mantras, a bunch of skills. If I were a betting man, as I'm known to occasionally be, you have to be fucking kidding me? I'm getting owned by white women. I would say... No, I forgot. Retreat! There we go. I would wager they're going to change a bunch of spell names. They're going to probably update some terminology. And then they're going to add another ending. And it's going to be a baffling decision. Because everything I've heard about this game's ending implies that it is the perfect ending. Hell, they might just merge 1 and 2 into one continuous game like they did with Megami Tensei 1 and 2 on the Super Nintendo when they ported it for Kyu-Yaku Megami Tensei. Wrong one. Are you kidding me? Hit more. Go. Today's additional beverage is Jones Cane Sugar Soda, Strawberry Lime Flavor. What if I just do this? Oh, fuck. Oh. Holy shit, we're so close. We're so close to Dark Lord being completed. Now, that mantra walk passive is actually going to be quite useful at the moment. Since we are... walking around a bunch. Was that you? That was you. There we go. He's already partially set up for when we go in to take care of Beelzebub. We just need to finish getting the last few passives for our friend Surf. In case you were wondering about my stat distribution, I always bring this up every time I stream this. Here's how I just decided to build Surf. Now, for those who are listening, those audio-only listeners, we're looking at 33 strength, 36 vitality, 99 magic, 33 agility, and 33 luck. I power leveled magic as soon as possible. Why I don't just have Dormina and Eternal Rest on Surf is a mystery. I really could just give him every single magic mantra if I really wanted to. And I probably will by the end of the game. Alright, doink him. Oh, we are so close to having Dark Lord mastered. We're within the handful of final battles. And then we can go spend our entire savings to give Surf a different mantra. We're probably going to be doing every side quest as well, just because I like the idea of having the entire mantra board filled out on our main character. You sick son of a bitch. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so we pass. Dormina. You have to be... I'm calm. I'm collected. I'm calm. I'm collected. What do you mean you dodged sleep? Motherfucker's hitting that exam week grind set. Oh yeah, I have game time planned with some close friends this evening. I'm excited. we will be playing Kletka. I've been very much enjoying it. We played a bit yesterday just to test. It's very fun. It's very different from the last time I tried to play on my own. It's also a lot more fun when you have people to play with, I'm not going to lie. Alright, here we go. Meteorama. Ooh-ah. Eternal Rest. Ooh-ah. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Fuck. Alright, here we go. It's so close. It's so close I can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. Alright, pass. Dormina. Pass. Pass. Dormina. Alright, that's the rest of them. Do not wake up. Perfect. Meteorama. Eternal Rest. Here we go. Reinforcements, please. Aw. Yeah! Sorry, I got excited. Finally. I can become immune to every element. Nulls, fire, ice, force, electric, and earth. We are going to make it. Oh, I could just swap, yeah, Mono Walk in there. We put Null Element in place of Mind Charge because I'm not using it much. Let's go back to the terminal so that I can get some new mantra. Fuck off. Are you kidding me? Nope, wrong one. Dormina. Perfect. Okay, we pass, we pass, we Eternal Rest. Now we're talking. This is the wrong exit. We have to go to the north one. Sipping me my soda. Soda! Here we go. Now we can buy our next set of mantras. All right, get mantra. So we need to grab Carabim. Yeah, so we grab Carabim. We grab a throne, I believe. No, throne. Angel, throne, Carabim. This is probably Seraphim then. Then we grab this one. But before we get to that one, we need to fill this one. Alright, Heat. You are already filled up. Sorry. Could be funny to put on him. I'm not going to. Guess I give you Fire Master. That's a lot of money, though, and I already maximized your random chimp event potential. Revive magic skills could be fun. Ooh, buddy, I'm not going to give you anything new. Alright, so we are 2 away from you having the ability to get everything you need to get bonus. I should more accurately say. What was your bit? Oh, right. We were giving you more ailment skills. Ichijo. Now we're talking. Let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's feed everyone big and round with a new mantra, except for Gale, because Gale still has things to learn. I'm giving Gale Bolt Master because if you get up to here in each line, you get the null skill for that element, and that's a very useful one to have because that's his weakness. Now we're talking. I'm hungry. Not hungry, just slightly hungry. A little hungry. If you're wondering why my model goes to its big size when I look away from the camera, by the way, it is because if I lean out of the way, it sees the One Piece live action poster in the background. And it's like, oh, that's the face. I'm looking at him right now. I have to move that shem. Hang on, I'm adjusting the volume of some slop garbage I have on in the background. There we go. Alright, got me my egg sandwich. Ooh, ah. Come on, baby. Get out of there. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I love egg salad. However, takes a lot of time to make sometimes. Hmm. Hmm. Ah, fuck my eye. Oh, my eye. Oh, no. Oh. I do have death resist I don't think I have Null Death or Null Expel right now. A lot of this grinding could have been done at a different time if I had been better prepared. I'm going to admit that. I'm going to own up to that. Mabu Fudan. Ooh, yeah. At some point, I probably should give Surf the spells that deal ailments, just because some enemies are actually weak to them. I know it's unusual, an RPG where enemies can actually be weak to ailments. What the fuck? You'd be surprised it happened to Elden Ring as well. All right. I love when it shoots up like that. Oh, you know, I could probably teleport to the other checkpoint, and then we can grind there, because that has some slightly better enemies that are better matched to my current level. Now, please keep in mind, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to go back to the Karma Temple to fight Vasuki, because Vasuki is gonna fuck me. Vasuki is gonna own my ass. Teleport. No, teleport me, please. All right. Save. Yup. Hang on, I'm distracted. Hang on, I'm looking at some slop garbage to put on the background. Yep, here we go. I like having my slop garbage to put on the background. I don't know why. It's just fun. Sometimes I just like to passively absorb information that's not going to be useful, but it will be interesting to bring up later. Oh, I need to change how I'm sitting because my ankle hurts now. All right. Save successful. Yep. Oh yeah, explicitly stating this because I don't really give a fuck about the rules. This is explicitly a slightly modified version of the game running on an emulator. The only modifications I've applied are ones that will slightly change some terminology used in the game. In some places to be better localized, and in others to better differentiate certain lines of spells and such. There's also stuff like changing null sleep, which makes it so that you can evade while asleep, and making it so that it's just sleepwalker, which better communicates that you do not nullify sleep, you simply are able to evade while asleep. Fuck? Okay, Heat, go! Heat, do it! Here we go, here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. We should heal up because Heat took a big hit. Here we go, here we go. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Blow them up with my mind. Oh, my head is itchy and I don't know why. Alright, let's get Cielo a new mantra. Yumpy. Here we go. Drives me crazy. Ooh, ooh, like no one else. Ooh, ooh. Drives me crazy. I can't help myself. Alright, here we are. So here I am. Doing everything I can. Holding on to what I am. No. We go back out there. I need to grind until I at least have null death on Surf, and then we can get to the real shit. Now then we can actually start making attempts. Ow! How dare you? First off, Bufudine. Second off, Maziodine. Okay, yeah, good. That works. Bufudine again. Wait. Try this. Missed. Oh god. Don't fucking do it. I'm going to harm somebody. I'm going to harm somebody. How you like it? Who can play at that game, dipshit? Fuck off. Jeesh. Forgot how mean those enemies are. Evil game design. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking. Alright, that should top some of us off, right? Oh, yeah. Woo! Seeing that shit? Now we're speaking. Now we are on speaking terms. Now we're talking. Probably a couple more battles and then, yeah. Bufudine U. Dormina. Pass. Pass. Okay, now we're on it. Pass. Eternal Rest. Alright, Ciel will learn new skills. That's perfect. That's nice. Let's take a quick stop. Let's take a quick break. Let's get some shit sorted. Restore. Check, check. Get mantra. Gale is ready for the next level. Who would be funniest to put in there? Many such options, actually. Let's see. Start giving him buffs, I guess. And then Cielo. There we go. Alright, so you're almost done with Cherubim. This is where Death Null is. Okay. Slowly but surely, we are filling out the mantra board for everyone, which is nice. If I remember right, going into number 2, we will be able to import our save game, and we will be able to get bonuses based on which mantra we had completed. So that'll be fun. Son of a... Okay, here we go. Eternal Rest. If you're gonna fucking combo me, you're gonna do it right. Please. Yumpy. Alright, here we go. Woo! Alright. Now, get back in there, and we buy some new mantras. This is what the big money grind is all about, by the way. This is why we need cash. We need to be liquid, as they say. Because otherwise, we will not have what we need to get the next tier of mantra that would otherwise be required. Alright, here we go. Restore and then save. Allow me to ingest the other half of my beautiful, beautiful sandwich. Here we go. Oh. Oh. Let me try forcing the bot to do the shit it was supposed to do at the start stream. Please? Blue skies held together by duct tape and clown wishes. Buddy, those clowns are not wishing. Oh. 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 Big sandwich. We're so close. We're almost there. We are almost at the point we need to be. So why have you come? Oh, fuck! Welcome in, courthouse, and welcome in Almighty. My name is Roger Caron. I am a homunculus saint VTuber. I hope you've been enjoying your day. I was just grinding it out in the sewers, as many are like to do at this point in the game. Taking all my healing items? No! It's fine. As you may be able to tell, I don't particularly need those healing items because I have an insane amount of healing potential. I have assembled a terrible thing. 99 magic, and I'm only level 64. We are right here, right outside the area where you have to fight the fly form of Beelzebub. I'm trying to get null death. You don't know if that's good or not. So 99 is the highest amount a stat can go up to. I have maxed out my magic potential. Like, this isn't even with any buffs. 583 on a weakness. Why did I do that? That didn't do shit. I was distracted. Okay. Immediately starting to make mistakes. Good. Perfect. Alright, so we take out the one who is weak to that. Now we hope that this sleep hits. Did not hit. Yep. Let me actually give you a shout out. Let me do that real quick. There we go. It's like when someone invites you to have a duel with pistols at dawn. They bring like I don't know, like a 1911, and you bring a fucking Desert Eagle. With buffs and with Mind Charge, which is a spell that doubles the damage of your next magical attack, it can get insane. And since it's like an all-encompassing magic stat, if I use healing magic, it's also kind of an insane, like, ooh, big heal. Take that heal to its big size. Ah. That right there was a hunt skill. If I kill something with that, I'm going to fill up my mantra gauges real fast. Yeah, it's like a gun to a sword fight and then a bazooka with buffs. Unfortunately, since all my other stats are average, I am at somewhat of a disadvantage. Let's see if I can get something to work against Beelzebub. So that you can understand what's going on, why I need to do all this nonsense. Glass cannon? Yes. So let me... I have to run around for a bit to get the... I have to get the solar noise gauge to either minimum or maximum so that I can get guaranteed criticals with heat, who I have given every single passive that has to do with physical attacks, as well as every special physical attack in the game. The durability of a pencil made of recycled paper, I take it. No, I can still take a decent hit. It's just that I need to plan a bit more carefully because I do not have great defensive options. Now, since I did just get the spell that will nullify every elemental attack made against me, it does help. But I don't have things like a nullification for instant death attacks, which is a very huge deal in this upcoming boss fight. Alright, so... he actually does reflect physical in this game. In most other games, it's something else, but in this one, yup, that's physical. The easiest way to deal with him here is to use the special skill you get from defeating King Frost, which has a high chance of... causing the frozen status effect. And then you get those guaranteed criticals. Oh, it's the white women who drop the item I sell for a lot of money. These are weak to sleep, so we do this. I might as well heal up since the... yeah, you get the big hits! Alright, Eternal Rest for that guaranteed kill. It's nice being immune to things. Gonna lurk because I'm hungry. Good luck with the Beals fight. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. No shame about raiding and running. All sorts of crazy stuff you gotta do after the stream. I get it. let's see. We pass Dormina. All right, there we go. The reason I'm opting for the Dormina into Eternal Rest combo is because it is relatively reliable compared to the hunt skills. Hell yeah. Ooh, thank you for the follow. I have at least made sure to acquire some of the reusable consumable items. Stuff like the one that gives you 50 MP and the reusable dark type attack. I just haven't acquired all of them. Alright, so we set up our skills. The boss is not weak to fire. However, he does notably lack resistance or nullification for fire. So I'm going to fire boost, fire amp. Boost and amp do stack in this game. So that's an extra increase to the increase. I'm going to put death resist on, which is better than nothing. It's like wearing a sweater in a rainstorm. You're still going to get wet, but it's nice to have that little peace of mind. Let's see. Anything else I want? No. Probably, yeah, expel resist. So I'm going to put my very strongest single target fire spell on. I will then add... not Mahamon. Where is it? Don't have it. Okay. I'm going to add Meteorama. As well as... where is... Mind Charge? Okay, actually, where is it? I'm starting to get frustrated. There it is. I'm blind! Okay. Cielo. Let's see. Looking at what all there is. Looking at what all there is. Cubanos, what do you mean? Pang, I don't know what you mean. I'm fundamentally powerfully confused. All right, I thought you had... oh, yeah, you do have debilitate. Cubanos are a type of sandwich. I don't believe... no, I do not believe Cubanos are relevant to this game. I'm sorry. Let's put some buffs on you, yeah. So we're going to want Sukukaja. No, yeah, we're going to want Rakukaja as well. So this probably isn't optimal, but it is better than nothing. I should probably replace Eternal Rest with something, actually. Let's see. This boss is... oh, okay. This boss is notably, I believe, immune to most status effects. So it's not quite so useful. Let's throw Makakaja on there. Now for the fun part. We take a bunch of shit and we put it on passives, man. Where is Power Charge? Power Charge! And where is... Revelation or Apocalypse? No, Executioner's for mega damage, but Apocalypse does have that defense down, which is quite nice. I think I'm going to go with Executioner, actually. Alright, let's see. So, minimum critical. If I have Null Fizz on, I don't think I'm going to get anything out of High Counter. I'm pretty sure critical hits can only happen on physical attacks, and he's weak. He's like immune to physical, so not quite useful. Let's put Null Expel on just to be safe. I'm pretty sure he does have Expel type attacks. Quick Cure, Close to Call, Quick Escape. I wonder if these three stack. It would be funny. Not gonna risk it. What if I put two different critical boosts on? So this doubles critical rate, but this boosts it as well. We are entering a situation where we do have... Let's just throw it in there. Let's see if we can do it this time. If we can't, back to the drawing board. Okay. Pain in my ass. I just want to be done with this fly so I can do other side quests. Alright, debilitate. Power charge. So those are going to remain in place until I use something that can actually benefit from them. Notice how the shield eats up his press turn icons. This means I'm relatively safe. Meteorama. Debilitate again. Executioner. Ooh. Now we're talking. Oggydyne. 1089. So we're going to want him fully debilitated so that as he enters the next phase, so to speak, he will be in a state where it is not ideal. Also, it will make it so that he will need to use Dekunda, which eats up one of his press turns. Oh, no effect? Oh, you're already charged up? Here you go, buddy. Crazy! Oh! 2,000 damage. Oh. Alright, Mind Charge. Ah, here we go. Mind Scream, not ideal. Okay, so we have two people who are fully immune to most of what he does. That's good. So if one person's not immune, the other one is. Let's hit Tsukukaja. I get the feeling he's either going to use Daikundo or Daikaja next turn. Fortunately, the Daikaja spell, which clears most of the buffs, will not cause much of a problem. Daikunda will, because it'll clear the debuffs we have on him. Oh, right. All right, here we go. All right. Yep, there we go. All right, so here's the part that I'm scared of. We take the... Where's the potion? Chakra elixir. We feed you. Mega Deleon. Not good. Ooh, no, that's not good. Thank you for the follow, Lycan. So this is exactly why we're doing the grinding. As you can see, that wasn't ideal. That was not particularly good. That was not particularly enjoyable. He manhandled us. We got a good head start, and then he activated and he manhandled us. He's the big giant fly who makes all of the rules. Now, if I wanted to, I could just wimp out, go back, fight Vasuki right now.
Rend, slaughter, devour your enemies. There is no other way to survive. You cannot escape your hunger. Warriors of purgatory.
Yeah, we did stumble a little. That wasn't like a real attempt either. That was just, you know, for illustrative purposes, for exactly why we're in the hole right now. Hey, I was getting distracted reading someone's ideas. Yeah, he decided I'm gonna use Mind Scream, and that's gonna be your problem. Fortunately, I saved before I changed all my abilities around, so I should be able to safely do this. Now, I should reasonably be able to expect that I'm going to have a much higher survival chance when I get to this one, because that does have null death and null expel on there. However, I do need to double check if Mind Scream has an element or ailment that I can nullify other than physical. Looking it up on the Megami Tensei wiki. Skill type magic, damage type physical. Okay. 15% chance of stun. Okay, okay. Huh. Since that's a specifically stun damage type, though, I'm guessing that I do, in fact, need null physical to prevent myself from dying to that. I'm feeling the hubris, actually. Let's get back in there. Let's try that again. Hubris, 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 hubris. Ah, hell. Alright, that's two of them. Alright, we pass, and we Eternal Rest to get two of those out of the equation. These enemies love using Dormina and then Eternal Rest. Oh, thank you for showing. Thank you for demonstrating for the class. I am talking about the... I'm talking about the Megaten wiki because I don't want to support fandom. The one that has the great news on the title. Let's see. They don't actually have a list of recently updated. Oh, view history. Yeah, that'll tell me what got updated. 2023. They really... Yeah. Let me actually check how recently the fandom wiki has been updated. Do they got new stuff on there? I really don't like going on fandom. Yeah, they don't even check if they're legit guys. They're just like, what? Yeah, what if we did this? Have you tried this? Opening a new private tab so that my extension does... I don't want to be redirected to the... Do I have to open in a new private window? There we go. I forgot how often I was getting fucking ad blasted. God damn it. Yeah, I love the fandom wiki. I still remember when fandom started merging a bunch of LGBT wikis into one big wiki because like, oh, well, it's all the same, right? Absolutely hate them for that. Yeah, the fandom wiki is unfortunately still getting a bunch of really pertinent updates, which sucks. I would really rather a better wiki get all the updates, but I guess not. I could probably go take care of Vasuki now, actually. Probably wouldn't suck too hard as well. Let's see. What does the fandom wiki recommend? Let's see. Mazondine, Maziodine, and physical attacks. Yup. Occasionally Dekunda. Yup. Okay. So he automatically uses Dekunda if you have 4 debuffs on him. Which means I can use Debilitate twice, I think. What in God's name could possibly be misogynistic about Farming Simulator? It's a game where you drive farm equipment. Big stretch. Okay, there we go. I mean, from a certain angle, you know, farming, male-dominated space, but it's like the game itself, like it's very dry farm equipment simulation. What do you mean? What do you mean? Profoundly confusing. One of you has to have null nerve, right? No, okay. That's all right. We can get there. We can get there. It just requires a reasonable amount of grinding. Mabufudine. That's 2 taken care of. All right, swallow her whole. Yumpy. Ah, hell. Okay, Cocytus. All right, that's one of them. Yeah. I'm just confused about what could, like, what could possibly, like, could the players be the misogynistic part of Farming Simulator? I could see that. What do you mean? Exactly. I'm confused. You just drive tractors. Are the tractors saying things? Oh. Please freeze. You have to be fucking kidding me. You have to be joking. Now for Arabaki's favorite game. I'm gonna keep healing up, and then you're going to keep trying to deal damage, and then I'm going to keep debilitating you until you can't hit me anymore. Alright, come on. Fucking finally, jeesh. The tractor said keep him in the kitchen. 97% male streamers of the game or something. Well, yeah, like, it's a game about, like, big, strong tractors and such. Of course it's gonna attract a lot of dudes. Let's try this again, actually. I'm making bad decisions. I'm making bad decisions. Alright, let's see. Where? Mind charge right here. Put you there, and then everything below can be rearranged. Right, yep, here we are. We almost had it last time, I can feel it. Alright, expel resist. Death resist. Fire amp. Fire boost. Anything else I can... No? Okay. I want you to produce me some misogyny, yeah? Sakura Rage, not useful. I'm going to try going in with Apocalypse for that damage, for that defense down instead this time. Yeah, Call of Duty holds that trophy. So we... No, not Death Resist. We put Null Expel on. We put... Where? Oh, where? Minimal crit. Critical for that basic double. Alright, nothing else useful in here. Should probably put on power boost. Power charge. Sorry, I said that wrong. You have debilitate? You have debilitate. Alright, let's see. What can I do for you, my friend? Void Nerve is probably gonna be good, yeah. So we put Void Nerve, we put... Where? Oh, where? Where? Oh, where is Debilitate? Where's Debilitate? Is it at the top? It's not at the top. Okay. What's Sana do? Heavy damage expel type? Not useful. Debilitate. Probably going to want Tarukaja, Tarukaja, Rakukaja, Makakaja. Listen, I might be blind. I might be stupid. Daikunda might be fun to have as well. I don't think this is perfect, but I think this will do mostly. Let's try that again. Let's engage in a little hubris. Say, for example, I took on a fight that I have no chance of winning. Say, for the sake of argument. Mind charge. One debilitate. Power charge. Okay, there we go. Alright, already mind charged. Ooh, yeah, we're getting up there. Hit that defense up, actually. Here we go. So at this point, he has exactly 4 debuffs on him. Boots that up another 3. Time to squash this fucker? I'm gonna try. Oh! Motherfucker got me. Alright, Meteorama. Parukaja. Are you power charged? Oh yeah, you are, baby. Alright, here we are. It's going slower, but it's working, I think. Hubris. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's a fun little detail. It's a bit harder to notice, especially with these PS2 graphics. But it's there. It's a reference to, I believe, Beelzebub's depiction in the Dictionary Infernal, which is a big old demonology text. I also forgot about the fact that when you say skull in chat, it plays the ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Completely forgot. Yup. There's a few others. Alright, let's see. So, Rakukaja. Things are about to get annoying. Awesome, yeah. Alright, Dekunda, that's alright. We have... Okay, things are about to get very complicated very fast. Am I charged up? Yes. Chakra Elixir on Cielo. Void Nerve, just to be safe. Just to be safe. I power charged. Drop it, Debilitate. We survived that somehow. Okay. Let's hit Rakukaja. And Apocalypse. I made a big oopsie. Okay. You're just testing everything now? I mean, it's good to test. I will tell you how many there are. Let's see, there's 3 in total that are currently functional. One of which you've discovered, one of which is linked to a command I use for marking down whenever I make a good joke, and one of which is a fun little secret. Why would I have a 6-7? Why would I have a 6-7 sound? That's silly. Alright, here we go. Makakaja, not ideal. Death flies. Uh-oh. Oopie. My bad. I forgot to put on null death for heat. That was on me. Where's my bottled coffee? Yeah. For the record, the command to mark down a good joke is exclamation point good.
Slaughter.
We also have support for exclamation point bad. For when I make a joke that sucks. We love democracy. No, you gotta put an exclamation point in front of him. Oh boy, back into the hole. Put me back in the pit, sir. I gotta keep fighting. We were making some headway. Oh, that's unfortunate. You could always do the next best thing. Google exclamation point and then copy and paste from Wikipedia. You could always do that. I do know that number pad can at least be used for Unicode. I think if you hold Alt. Yeah, I think it's you hold Alt and then you press a specific sequence of numbers and then it pops out something from the Unicode thing. Never got it to do it correctly though. Primarily because I'm just dumb. And that's okay. Fuck. Ooh, critical. Ooh, yumpy. Gained a large amount of Atma. Oh boy. Fucked up that they're putting pain in the ass evil enemies right outside the evil boss door. Like, come on. I'm just a little guy. Here we go. Ooh, vital noise. That's gonna raise my vitality by 1. How's everyone's mantras doing right now, actually? Let's see. Okay. Things are going exactly as planned. We just need to get... Argiller up to higher heights so we have another instance of Atma bonus. It does seem to stack across the entire party, which is why I'm intent on trying to get it on everyone. Even people who I would not typically cast as party members who are particularly good with physical skills. Because if everyone has Atma bonus, then everyone's getting that nice little bonus. Oh, wow. What? No way. What am I gonna do? All right, here comes Maggie Dola. All right, swallow her whole. Yumpy. All right, I don't know if this is like a surefire thing, but it feels like whenever someone has their bar full and they sit in the party for a while, everyone else gets more Atma points. Which probably makes sense because, you know, they're not distributing to someone who's full, right? I could be experiencing the placebo effect, though. Meteorama. Bagoom. Dormina. Bagroom. Last Supper. 3-woman dinner. 1 big bite, 3-woman dinner. 1 big bite, 3-woman dinner. Pass. Dormina. I'm getting stupid now. I'm playing dumb. Fuck. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, my eye? Oh, yeah, my eye. There we go. My eye was just a little itchy. Try again? Dude, you have to get better at this. Dude, hit! Would it kill you to hit your shots? Just notice, I think they got their feet out. I think they got their toes out. Grippers bear upon the sewer floor. Right on the damn concrete. That's no good for your toesies. Might be worth also getting... This is a stupid idea. This is an idea that sucks. It might be worth going through the trouble of giving... heat, like, null element as well. Yeah, dogs out! Lots of them with their toes out in these sewers, actually. What the fuck? Put those away! You're gonna get poo-poo in your nails. You don't want poo-poo feet. Don't fucking do this to me, ma'am. Oh, thank God. All right. Please. Probably not worried about infections, yeah. Within the context of the game, these are explicitly like people who have turned into demons. Like, these are just normal people. They wear shoes normally. Why do they have their dogs out in demon form? What does this say about them? How do I psychologically profile my enemies based on whether or not their demon form has their dogs out? Wandering the sewers with your dogs out. What the fuck? Alright, we pay a little for healing. Get mantra. Let's see. Let's see. Gale and Cielo are fulled up. I wonder what that other node there is, actually. Actually, is there someone else I can check? Swear to God, someone has both branches of that, like, filled, right? Cielo? Oh, it's just normal boost magic skills. Okay, and what's here? Salvation, Madness, and Mana Surge. Ooh. Not enough money. Even Cielo has his dogs out when he's transformed. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure everyone does, yeah. Are those... Did they turn her feet into high heels when she transformed? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Alright, Cielo. How far up do I need to go for... On his tippy toes still, no better, yeah. Then again, Cielo is like constantly floating and flying, so it's probably alright if he's got his feet out. Gotta have your landing gear prepared, right? Alright, here we go. I love the part of the game where I have to actually engage in the combat. Fuck. Ah, 3 white woman dinner again. Yumpy. Meteorama so that we can fill heat back up. Yep, there we go. Alright, I absorb your attack big time. Yummy, yummy wind damage. Here we go. Pass and Last Supper. Choked on my drink when you said that? Ah, yeah. I'm eating up your wind damage, nice and big and round. Yeah, I think making 2 people immune to physical would be funny. Let's work on this. Let's make 2 people immune to physical, just for fun. 3 white woman dinner, yeah. It would be funny. You know what? Yeah, let's make him fucking invincible. White meat is good. Yeah. Many such cases. The physical tree is like one of the most like complex circular trees in the game. But it's only because like you zoom out, like the entire like 4 branches of the main magic tree, you know? Like, there's 4 branches here for physical, but it's not like... No, wait, that's 5 branches. I forgot. 5 branches of the magic tree, and the extra magic tree down here. Like, there's an entire system for magic, like, acquisition, and then physical is just like, yeah, you fill out 1 tree, and then you fill out the next one, and then you fill out the next one. It's relatively simple in comparison. Alright, let's see. Anyone else? No. Alright, we save, probably teleport out so that we can sell some things. We do have a decent amount of cells, if I'm remembering correctly. Actually, let me check, because we're in an area where I can just check my items. 22 theory cells, 3 organic cells, 1 error cell, and a fusion cell. Not bad. These are all the stat boost items we have. I'm tempted to use these, but also, like, they could sell for a decent amount of money. There is an area later where we can grind magic noise in a very simple and predictable way. In fact, I even know which enemy it drops off of. It would just be a pain to do it. Yeah, we're low on funds anyways. Let's teleport out so that we can hit the store and maybe pick up on a new reusable item. Who knows? The story has a sense of urgency at this point because it's like, oh, we need to get to the top of the Karma Tower so that we can save the woman. And I'm sitting here like, no, I want to squish a big fly. I want to fight a big fly. I want to squish a big fly. Who's in the fairy jar? I believe that is a character from Last Origin. Let me double check the wiki real quick so that I can be entirely sure. For those unaware, Last Origin is like definitively like one of the only decent quote-unquote Gooner game. They are very wide variety of designs. A lot of them I can't really show on stream because I'll get killed by Twitch. Let me just double check. That is Aurelia from Last Origin. That's spelled Orellia. I span the wheel and that's who came out. Now, being within range of the store is not enough. We have to be there during maximum noise. Unfortunately, it looks like we're on a downward cycle for the noise, so I have to run in circles out here before I enter the main area where the store will be accessible. I believe last month the character in the jar was a character from Trick Owl. No, I'm rejecting that. Take your points back. You take those points back. There are better things for you to spend those points on. Come on. Sing us a song. No. I don't wanna. Aren't you interested in saving up so that you can be the first person to redeem $1 more billion? Scared of karaoke? No, my throat's just kind of fucked today. I've been procrastinating doing another cover because I said I would post them when I had 3 stocked up, and I have 2 of them stocked up. My throat's been kind of fucked lately. Okay, so we need to operate quickly. There we go. The greatest Japanese pastime ever. You could say that. Alright, so we sell 2 of these. We sell all of these. I was wrong, by the way. Those sell for 60,000. These sell for 24,000. Okay. There we go. And we have plenty. We are very liquid right now, as some might say. Right, let's see. Graven image. Restore HP medium. Tempting. Bald. There you go. Now we're talking. I'm bald now. Take me to my bald size. Reusable fire. No, not fire. Almighty damage is decent. Reusable medium heal could be nice. What ammo is there? Ammo is a strange system in this game. Thank you. I'm stimming now. Ammo is a strange system in the game because there are very few instances where you will be in a situation where you are really required to be in your human form. The human form is sort of vestigial in places and vital in other places. It depends very heavily on what specific enemies you are fighting. If an enemy is a bird, there's a high chance that you're going to want to actually use the guns, because guns are uniquely suited to taking down birds in this game. It's sort of like I guess just shooting at a bird. You'll be lurking for a bit. I hope you enjoy your time. Thank you for showing up, and thank you all again for the follow. I hope you enjoy your time here. Hang on, I'm getting distracted. Oh yeah, I've already covered this on the stream, but for like clarification on what I mean by good old Last Origin having some character designs that will get me taken off of Twitch, I'm going to use a classic method, covering up the image with the latest piece of art I did, and I'm going to cover everything that's going to get me banned. And I'm going to show you a real skin from the game. Because it is always very funny to do so, and it's always a really good illustrative tool. Let me grab my my late Golden Week image. Make that just about the right size. Yup. How small can I get this without showing anything? Forgot about that. Yeah, so I think if I do this, now let me just, this is a real skin from the game. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, everything that could get me banned is covered up. Real skin from the game. They had to censor this for the international release. Extremely funny bit. That's just in there. You can probably get that free of charge with enough grinding. Allow me to grab another one. People like on cite Nikke as like the greatest Gunner game in the world when it's just like very bland. Like very bland, very bog standard. Yeah. Oh lord. Like Nikke doesn't even have hyper. Those characters just have normal sized tits. None of this nonsense that you see in Last Origin, where there's a character who's like each individual tit bigger than her head. The official boob mouse pad like weighs over 10 pounds. Let me just... Let me see. Yeah, Last Origin, life size, Poi mousepad. Let me see. No, that's a different character. God damn it. How big is this one for Elven Forest Maker, actually? How much does this weigh? 3,710 grams. Gooners must be stopped. No, no, no. Poto de Birdie Boy, I'm holding your hand oh so gentle, oh so gently right now. One man to another. Becoming more reactionary will not help. It will not save you. I say this from one pervert to another. You have to kill the instinct to say Gooners must be stopped. Because that defines an acceptable target within your like cognition, within your understanding of the world. And if you have an acceptable target, you cannot be a good person. Defining any form of perversion as ontologically evil only means you've created a class, a discrete class of person who you can and will allow yourself to hate. And once that happens, someone in a higher place of power can influence who you view as a part of that class of people. This is why they are blanket trying to ban adult content. Gooners must be stopped is another insidious tentacle of the reasons why the government is trying to put in stuff like identity verification laws worldwide. They want to have a blanket ban on adult content so they can start defining who counts as adult content. First, it's just porn. Then they start defining the existence of gay people as inherently sexual. Then it snowballs. You can call this the slippery slope fallacy. This is based in historical analysis. This has happened before. They are trying to make it happen again. Kill the instinct to say Gooners must be stopped. The pornographers are your friends. It's fun to point at. It's fun to look at and say, oh, that's strange. But you also have to keep in mind, these people aren't doing much that's harming others, and if they come for the porn, and that's C-O-M-E, not C-U-M, if they come for the porn, they start taking it away, that's going to be the first step in a long list of steps that are going to make things worse. I'm just trying to bust. True. Like, it's like that one post. If you asked me if I would like to see an image of your penis, I would say, oh, no thank you. But if you told me I'm not allowed to look at images of penis, I become your enemy. Also, like, this is a very specific, pointed criticism of Nikkei. They have characters who look like children, and those children are in sexualizing situations, and I don't like that about Nikkei. Didn't think of it like that? Yeah. It's like when there's a spider in your house. That is a hilarious quote. Which one? No, which one? Oh, right. The quote, if you asked me if I wanted to see an image of your penis, I would say no. But if you told me I was not allowed to see penis, I would be your enemy. In anime? Yeah. Like, you can rationalize, oh, Nikkei has great writing and world building at me all you want. All I'm going to see is that you've decided to defend a game that has like people in schoolgirl outfits and like characters in sexualizing positions, and I'm going to see that and I'm going to think, oh, you're okay with this. What other one? You have to be more specific. Come on. I can't read your goddamn mind. You have 26 letters in the alphabet. Arrange them in the way that would make me understand. Come on. Oh, wow. Gale, level up. Oh, yeah. I once actually destroyed a potential friendship because I had because someone was like, "Oh yeah, I finally got off Twitter because of increasing amounts of transphobia," and my response was not, "Oh, good for you." My response was, you stayed there during the, like, pedophile epidemic? Like, I handled that situation fully wrong. That was entirely on me. I should not have jumped to that. I should not have been negative in that situation. But also, like, what do you mean it took you this long to get off the Nazi pedophile a factory floor? What do you mean? On one hand, I really should have congratulated that user for getting off of Twitter. It took them a long time, but they finally did it. On the other hand, what do you mean you just stood there and did nothing while the Nazi pedophile factory was turning on? There were several steps that I should have taken before I jumped to that, and I did not take any of those steps, and that's on me. Come on, one white woman dinner. Yeah, like it had been steadily becoming worse. I will admit, it had been steadily becoming worse. But also, it was like that before. It's probably going to be like that after. How do you dodge the sleep beam? Fuck. I still remember someone on Tumblr saying that it had become Stormfront for toddlers. I think that's a really funny phrase. Because it's very apt for where Tumblr is at right now. Like, people have a popular conception of Tumblr as, oh, it's the, like, funny trans woman website. There are funny trans women on Tumblr. But also, it is like important to remember Tumblr's mods currently are going through and repeatedly banning trans women. Like, Tumblr used to be a very vibrant, very beautiful haven for queer people, for black people, for all sorts of the oppressed underclass. And I've seen in real time as it has just simply become a whiter and whiter website, and it has been disquieting. It's been upsetting, and it's still the only like social media website I feel comfortable using. Despite all that, it's upsetting watching my home essentially get worse. It's like when a bunch of Nazis move into your neighborhood, right? And you can't really do anything because, well, they're members of the homeowners association, so you have to be all right with them. But I don't want to be all right with them. I want the proverbial homeowners association to fucking do something about it. And fortunately, Photomat and his gaggle of goons have been feeding into these people's evil negative tendencies by repeatedly banning trans women, by repeatedly banning people of color, by repeatedly banning people who are just there asking for help. And I can't really do anything about it because the mod team's not going to listen to me. I'm just some random jerk off from Canada. What are they going to do when I ask them, hey, can you stop doing this, please? Like, they're going to ban me if I make too much of a noise about it. Like, I can share posts asking, like, posts reminding people, hey, this is an ongoing situation across the entire website. I can share posts about that till the cows come home, and it's not going to really make a huge difference. It's upsetting. At any point, sometime soon, any one of my wonderful, intelligent friends can lose their blogs. And that would mean I no longer have the ability to effectively contact that person very, easily without having to pester mutual friends like, hey, the blog got, deactivated. Can I, do you know where I can contact this person? Because, no. That's going to be annoying. That's going to be me bothering people, and I do not want to bother people. All right, let's see. Some people are filled up now. All right, here we go. So once we have this filled up, it's not going to be a problem anymore. Once we have this filled up, we're not going to have to worry about it. Yes, there we go. Now we're talking. I think to avoid having my initial response to people getting off a harmful website be, you stuck around through that. That's not a productive initial response. That is going to harm more people than it helps. I should work on instead greeting them with open arms, saying, hey, proud of you. Because that's going to, instead of pushing them away, for deciding to stay there for a myriad of reasons. A wide variety of reasons to stay in several bad places, I'm not going to lie. Instead of shaming them for staying there, it would be more productive to welcome them for finally leaving. You know, for reaching out and saying, hey, sucks that you were there. You're here now. I'm proud of you. That's a more productive way to greet someone who's getting out of a bad situation or fleeing a bad website. Especially if they are making a concerted effort to be better. Because as someone who used to be a Gamergate kid, I will admit, 2016 when that shit was happening, I was there. I have been making a concerted effort every moment since I turned probably, I want to say 19, to be better, to adjust who I am, to purge that shit from me. And it's not been easy. I feel more alone now than I ever did during that period. But it is important that I make an effort to be a better person. For those around me. For myself. Because I'm going to have to spend that entire time, like from now until forever, with myself. So I might as well make myself someone worth spending time with. And it's been a slow process. I haven't been perfect along the way. This incident where I made someone feel like shit and effectively pedo-jacketed them, not one of my best moments. But it is something I can work on. And it's an important perspective to have. If you were a bad person and you have since realized you were a bad person, it is important to remember that most of all, you're going to have to spend the rest of eternity with yourself. And even if you don't have any friends, even if you're like me, most of your time goes into your work. Even if you have nothing to do outside of work, you should still make yourself someone worth spending time with. Because if no one else is going to spend time with you, it's going to be you. And if you can't even, tolerate yourself, buddy, that's going to be a spiral for disaster. Studies have shown that people getting out of these holes, just as much as they need accountability, they need room to grow. They need room and grace to figure out who they are when they're not buried under several layers of that shit. And of course, it's not easy when, like me, you spend a majority of your adult life living in a emotionally oppressive household where you are effectively treated as an emotional punching bag. It's not easy to have that. I've made more progress, and I want to say 2024 to now than I ever did between 2019 and 2023. Because those were still when I was living with my parents and all that crazy shit was happening. But I'm here now, and I'm better now. I'm not perfect. I probably won't ever be perfect. I would struggle to say that I'm ever going to be good enough. But being better than who I used to be is an achievable goal. I can get there. It'll take time. It's still taking time. But it's worth working on. Of course, I still don't exactly trust games journalists, but that's just because of the Kane and Lynch incident where where people were being paid to give Kane and Lynch really good reviews, even though the game was not particularly good. And I have at least like softened my stance where it's like, oh, any game that I don't like getting good reviews was bought and paid for. No, no, no. Any game that I don't like getting good reviews is just because the reviewers had different tastes, and I don't have to read their reviews. I don't have to read a review that's just going to make me mad. I've softened. I've become better. Me neither, haha. Let me sip me my iced coffee. Yeah, some game journalists' reviews are for sure suspect. However, I am taking Occam's razor here, where instead of assuming, oh, it's this big conspiracy with people paying for reviews and it's getting funneled through shell companies and whatever. No, no, no. That shit, like, probably doesn't happen as often as you think it does. Most likely, it's just that the reviewer is like just has different tastes, and like the game journalist covering the game is like, well, I don't normally play RPGs and I don't really care for them, but I got assigned to this RPG game, so I'm just going to review it how I would any other game, which is not how you should do reviews. I do understand wanting to have opposing perspectives on, you know, genres. But also, if someone doesn't like RPGs, they're not going to give an RPG a favorable review. How I feel about Mixtape, shouldn't get a 10 out of 10. Oh yeah. Mixtape is in a unique position where it was funded very directly by one of the fucking richest people in the world, or the daughters of one of the fucking richest people in the world. So they might have more of an incentive to be kind to it. However, I don't think that's the whole, like, story. I think what's going on with Mixtape is that game journalists, who typically are not people who are well-versed in a wide variety of games, are playing this game that reminds them of like an older Telltale game. Oh yeah. Like, I think with Mixtape specifically, because I fucking hate this Gamergate style, oh, it's a big conspiracy. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What is a game? No, that's not worth litigating. That's not worth talking about. That's not worth thinking about. I think these game journalists in question are just enjoying the experience. Like, chances are most of them are either A, not primarily gamers, B, overpoweringly white, or C, both of those at the same time. Because I've seen Mixtape, I've seen enough to know that I'm not going to like it, that I'm not going to enjoy watching, like, people dunk on it. It's very much a very specifically white nostalgia movie, like, game, not movie. It's very much a white nostalgia game. Like, it's a quote-unquote counterculture music game that somehow deftly avoids every opportunity to use rap or other racialized music, which is suspicious as hell. I'm not going to call the devs racist. I'm just going to say they probably should listen to some, like Lamar. I don't know. Just expand your horizons, man. It's not a game for me. Other people will enjoy the game. That's okay. That's fine. They can enjoy what they want. I'm not going to enjoy it with them. I would be very interested in seeing the team, like a photograph of the dev team all standing together like they used to take and put in video games before AI placeholders. Yeah, the protagonists, mostly white. The licensed music. Surprisingly, no rap. Suspicious. Like I'm like I get sunburned pretty easily. That's where you need to know I stand. I get sunburned pretty easily. But I'm like educating myself. I'm doing research. I'm listening to like voices of other people of other types. That's my responsibility as a global citizen. And even I, who's like relatively like new to all this, can look at a game that is very much like white 80s, 90s nostalgia and say that it is concerning how white that game is. Yeah, there's no rap, there's no blues, there's no jazz, there's nothing like out of some of the greatest musicians even of the time. Like, it's crazy. What was I doing here? Oh, right, I was grinding. And I'm not going to explicitly say that the developers were racist, because I don't want to believe they are. I want to believe that the development team did not question their own biases while working on the game. Because that's a much more common phenomenon. People will make something and they won't realize that the way they made it shows their internal biases, and that can be a problem. That can also not be a problem, depending on what they have made. Unfortunately, what they made this time... yeah, 90s, but it's missing some of the like most huge, influential like artists that are still talked about today. It is fascinating to look at from afar, but I don't like getting caught up in discussions about it often, because one, people talk about, oh, this is just a walking simulator or whatever. Or two, they talk about how there's very little interactivity. Or they talk about the, like, over-reliance on licensed music. They talk about parts of the game that have nothing to do with the actual game that was made. And it annoys me. Oh, yeah. Like, coming from, like, someone who has dabbled in game design, who likes to study game design as its own sort of art form. I didn't mean to do that, okay. I think it is important to look at the game that was made and not the game that you wish was made. There we go. Big boy Atma points. Because obsessing over, like, what is a game? Or, I wish that they had done this instead. That's not going to produce a productive, like, perspective on the like, work of art you're looking at. Because as many people like to ignore, video games as works of art. Hundreds and thousands of hours of several different types of artisans are working together on this, like, big, like, multimedia piece, for lack of a better term, where you have the visual design, the writing, the sound effects, and the music both coming together for the sound design. That's 5 types of art right there. Then there's the game design, which many would not traditionally consider a form of art, but I think it does count as a form of art if interactive like art installations count as works of art. Then you have the visual design for the marketing, which is often separate from the visual design for the game. You have the sound design for the marketing, which is also different from the sound design of the game. That's 8 types of art right there. Then on top of all that, you also have like the way these things come together, the way these interact. How does the game design interact with the writing and the visual design and all that? It's a big interconnected web of different types of art that weaves together to form a big ol' mesh. And then the process of playing the game is you interacting with this these enmeshed elements of the art. Now, this does get stupid people coming out of the woodwork to say, oh, so you're saying Pac-Man is art? Yes, that's explicitly what I'm saying. Pac-Man is art. It is primarily a demonstration of how you can get a lot out of a little, and that little is a very potent, very addicting gameplay loop. Oh, well, you're saying Life is Strange is art? Yes. I don't personally enjoy it, but there are also painters and such that I don't personally enjoy. Art is a very personal and interpretive experience. Do I think a lot of these cinematic movie games have very lacking game design? Yes. Do they also often make narrative decisions that I dislike? Also yes. I don't have to obsess over them. I can just go about my day. I can find something I enjoy more. That's something a lot of people forget. You don't have to care about the latest big drama game that's coming out. Yes, the way the game feels to play is just as important as how the game looks, how the game sounds, how the game is written, and how the game comes together in the end. Here, the way the game incentivizes you to go and set up all your characters just the right way. That is the developers entering into a conversation with you. They're saying, here are these challenges we've set up. Here are your tools. Deal with them. That conversation is had with every single game through the gameplay. And oftentimes, it's not a perfect conversation, but then again, whoever has had a good perfect conversation, right? Oftentimes, games can be weaker in one area, games can be weaker in another area. And that's okay. That's fine. Games don't have to be perfect in every area, because no piece of art is perfect in every area. All forms of art have their own strengths, have their own weaknesses, can be done well, can be done poorly. And I think that ascribing a moral worth to quality is detrimental to your interaction with various forms of art. It sort of creates an expectation that you're only going to want to interact with the quote-unquote good art. Because, well, you made it this far only playing the good things. Why worry about the bad games? And that's a detrimental way to look at it. The obsession with only experiencing good art, well, quote-unquote good art, I'm not going to get into the full explanation. I'm simply going to say that good art is a myth that exists like as a cultural construction rather than as a tangible like goal to achieve. And I'm going to leave it at that because when I get into it, it seems to piss people off. But if you only interact with art that is often considered good on a wide scale, you are going to lose sight of your own tastes. Because it's like, oh, well, I like this and people said it was good, so it has to be good. If you only go with what is widely agreed upon to be good in terms of experiencing art, you are robbing yourself of many, many intriguing, interesting sorts of things to experience. It's like when you spend most of your life only eating like fine steaks and caviar. Yeah. Well, game reviews are a critique, and critique cannot by definition be perfect because it is a series of qualitative analyses rather than quantitative, and with art you really can't have a quantitative analysis. Yeah, if you've only ever had fine steaks and caviar, you cannot fully appreciate the fact that you've only had those because you don't know what bad food tastes like. You get to that point and you're like, well, I'm fine. I've only had the good things. But the good things aren't quite so good when you haven't had the bad things. And sometimes you might find that you like the bad things more. Like people, my entire adult life growing up, people kept telling me Troll 2 was a dog shit movie. I watched it and I loved it. It was really funny. It was really enjoyable. Like there is of course a stark difference between refined art and unrefined art. But also, it is important to remember that refinement is purely about technique. And a lot of the time, techniques you get fed are used to reinforce very specific, I hate this term, but I'm going to use it anyway, very specific Western ideas of what beautiful art is. It's how you get people who will spend their entire adult life making art and then still have the balls to say, oh, I'm an aspiring artist. It's how you get people who are willing to lower themselves to a certain level because they do not want to stare directly at what they're doing and call it what it is. Oh dear. Oh, big damage. Parvati is frightened. Oh! I must have gone on this rant like several times, but like that's what kind of annoys me very specifically about like art school students. It is a level of an unawareness of the self and unawareness of what you're doing that is put there by your teachers so that they can sort of slowly grind away at the parts of your art that make it interesting. Like, yeah, your technique is becoming more refined, but are your ideas your own at that point? Is the framework you are working within your own interpretation of what you've been taught, or is it based entirely off of what your teacher has told you? While those do seem like similar ideas, they're very distinctly different. And I say this because it is important to remember that you are more likely to enter into a situation where you are operating very specifically off of a repetition of what you've been taught rather than your own interpretation of what you've been taught. While for many people it is probably good, good and fun to have a simple like, oh yeah,
Come on, your ass is mine.
I know what I'm doing. I've been taught by my teacher. It's probably decent for a lot of people to have that sort of framework to work off of. But also I find that people who tend to say, well, my teacher said this, also tend not to question what they were taught or why. It's a very cynical thing to, like, say. Yeah, you have more fun when you experiment, and also when you, like, work from basically nothing like me. Like, when I started out, I only had knowledge of color theory. And that has helped carry me very handily into where I am now, where I can, produce something very decent. Learning the fundamentals helps you break them later? No. I never learned most of the fundamentals. I never did. And I still enjoy what I made. I still enjoy what I do. People still tell me what I make is good. It doesn't matter if you learn the fundamentals. What matters most is that you try. Some of my favorite artists are other outsider artists who never learned the fundamentals, who never even considered whether or not they were artists. Like Henry Darger, or that one guy who made an entire tinfoil kingdom in his garage with random scraps of gum wrappers he found on the ground. Those are like my shining idols to me, because it tells me you don't actually need to do all this bullshit people say you need to do to be a quote-unquote good artist. You just need to do it. Son of a bitch. I'm getting frustrated. I'm just gonna blast these two. The thing is, right, most of the time, the reason you don't know about, specific types of art is because people don't like to talk about them because they're inconvenient. People don't like to talk about them because it's inconvenient for them and their framework. I guarantee the reason you haven't heard about a lot of these outsider artists, which are artists who are operating without formal training most of the time, is because people don't like to talk about them. And if you're like a big name art school student who spent $900,000 billion to have your ideas scraped out and your teacher's ideas put in there in its place, you don't want to talk about like the people who managed to make interesting, unique like forms of art, because like, well, they did that without going to my big school, and I don't like that, so I'm just not going to talk about it. It is a like relatively decently common thing where people will often leave out information that is inconvenient for their framework. And I will admit I'm probably guilty of this. I probably didn't even consider that I was doing it. It happens often. It is a common part of being a human being who talks about things. Sometimes you don't consider information that you did not like want to include, or that would otherwise be inconvenient. So, sometimes you don't even do it on purpose, because that's just how your brain works. Your brain will find information that you don't like and it'll say, get fucking rid of this. It's possible. Now, of course, a lot of like modern online artists, they're outsider artists, and that's fun. But they also tend to play at being like traditionally trained artists, where it's like, I'm gonna say I'm aspiring, and then I'm going to take someone's art tutorials and I'm gonna ingest 900,000 art tutorials, and that's a good way to learn. But then there's people like me. I'm someone for whom art tutorials do not work. Art tutorials don't work for me because they do not mesh with how I learn. And I've made peace with that. However, whenever someone sends me an art tutorial, my brain has adapted to interpret it as if they were trying to send me a slur. Like, you can tell me to break down the body into a series of shapes, and I can do it, but I will not understand the point. I will not absorb what I was supposed to get from it, because like, okay, the body is, chest is a big triangle, waist is a rectangle overlapping the triangle, hips are a triangle beneath the rectangle, and I can break the body down into a series of shapes. I will not absorb the information I'm supposed to from breaking the body down into a series of shapes, because that's just not how that's just not how I perceive the world. That's not how I understand things. I don't understand the world as a series of shapes. I understand the world as a series of objects. Like, I don't see the monitor in front of me as a rectangle within a larger rectangle on top of another rectangle on top of a series of other rectangles. That's not how I see the world. I see the monitor and all of its constituent parts as a thing unto itself. I don't see the hand as like a square and a series of rectangles extending out of the square. I don't understand the world like that. I see the palm, the first digit of the finger, the second digit of the finger, the third digit of the finger. Ooh. These are constituent parts of a whole object to me. So when I see an art tutorial and they're teaching in a way that I do not understand, my brain interprets it as a as an insult, as a direct attack on me. This is like an autonomous response. I can't directly turn this off. I can lessen the blow, but I can't remove the harm entirely. And there's basically no place in the world for someone like me who learns the way I do. I simply have to deal with the fact that I'm forever going to be incapable of absorbing the same types of information as a lot of other people. And that's fine. I have to be okay with that. Because what I make is still good in and of itself. I don't need to force myself to seek types of affirmation from other artists, because I know that when I post a piece that I liked working on, I'm going to see people liking it, and I'm going to be happy about that, because like, hey, someone other than me likes what I made. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to make me happy. And that's an important distinction to have, especially as an artist. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to make me happy. Like, when I sit down and start making my next RPG Maker game, I'm likely going to have a situation where it's not going to be perfect. I'm likely not going to be able to do everything that I want to do. And you know what? That is okay. Because it doesn't need to be perfect. It just has to make me happy. I'm getting fucking manhandled, by the way. Like, very rarely will you come upon a situation where it goes perfect and it also makes you happy. Because oftentimes, when something goes perfect, you're like, huh, nice. And that's it. What the fuck am I doing? Just kill me, man. Come on. I got so engrossed in the sauce that I forgot that I was supposed to be playing the videos game. Well, like, yeah, it is very important to remember at all times that when you're making something, perfect is the enemy of good. That's an age-old phrase. That's a very good phrase to keep in mind. Perfect is the enemy of good, because you're going to spend all your time chasing perfect when good is right there, and you'll probably be happier with it. If you chase perfect forever, which is a very common occurrence, if you're trying to chase perfect, it's going to be going forever. Perfect is an imaginary location. Perfect is Atlantis. Perfect is the lost continent of Mu. Perfect is a place you're going to be chasing for the rest of your life because it doesn't fucking exist. Perfect is a myth. Good enough and good are both much closer, much more attainable. Like, in context, compared to perfect, good is like Seattle. You can very easily get to Seattle. Seattle is on the map. It has roads going into it. You can find Seattle. You can find good. Good is not like a physical location, of course, but somewhere in your heart, there is a place where you store memories of things that are good for you. And that's a place that you can find. That's a place where you can return to with enough practice. And putting works of your own art there, for some it's an impossible task. For me, it's as simple as going into my pictures folder and looking at a piece that I did could be as far back as 5 years maybe. And I can look at it and say, yeah, I liked working on that. And that's the part of the art that is good. Your technique doesn't matter. Your idea usually doesn't matter. Whether or not you liked making it and whether or not you still like it, that matters. That's where the goodness of art is. And this is something anyone can achieve. You can make something and it's not going to be perfect. Other people might not even consider it good. However, it can be good enough for you. In fact, most of the time, it has to be good enough for you. Because no one is going to be there for your art as often as you will be. So being able to say definitively, yeah, I finished this piece and I liked this piece. Being able to say that, being able to look in the mirror and say that, that's important. That is more important than any amount of likes, any amount of comments, any amount of reposts. And if you love working on your art long enough, you'll just naturally get better at it. You'll naturally find parts of your style that you like, and you will work on those parts and you will strengthen those parts, and those parts will become a part of you. And as you collect these, quote unquote parts of you that you enjoy, that you like having around, you will naturally, have a better grasp on what you like. However, oftentimes finding those parts and techniques that you enjoy will require you to experience other art, because you don't have every idea in the world in the back of your head. I'm gonna save real quick because I'm going to be ending soon. My throat hurts and I want to make some rice. It's important to keep in mind, right? Artist to non-artist as well. There's no map that will lead you to being an artist that's good by your own standards. It is a journey you have to take on your own. It is a sort of being an artist is something that you have to fight tooth, nail, and closed fist to get right. Even if you're going through art school, you still have to fight tooth, nail, and closed fist to get to a point where you're happy with what you're making. And it's not going to be easy. It's never easy, especially if you're one of those person who's very cynical and believes in a weird form of eugenics called talent. I'm not going to elaborate on that. You have to think about that for yourself. That's your homework. If you believe in talent, you're going to look at what you're doing, and you're going to say, I was not born good enough to do this. And that's a dangerous way to think. Because one, nobody's born with any inherent ability. And two, talent is a pursued skill. You don't come out the womb built for drawing. You come out the womb screaming, crying, wet. Maybe you came out blue if your umbilical cord wrapped around your neck like it did with me. That's fine. I recovered. You'll recover. What's important is that you pick up that pencil and you keep picking up that pencil. It is a choice, like being kind or like playing a video game. You have to keep trying. Because if you don't make whatever's in your brain, then no one's going to make it for you. Many times, you are the only person who could make something that you wanted to make. And it's important. It is dangerously important to actually try and make that thing. Because if you don't, it's not going to exist. And if it doesn't exist, then no one else can enjoy it. I'm going to be offline tomorrow because I have to watch Twin Peaks with a dear friend of mine. And then I have to play Baldur's Gate with other friends of mine. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing art. If we finish quickly, I'm going to be doing 358 over 2 days. If not, big art stream is at least acceptable. On Thursday, after I go grocery shopping, I'm going to be playing Faster Than Light. No mods this time. Might try the multiverse mod afterwards. On Friday, we're going back to Digital Devil Saga, and I'm going to keep going until I actually make progress. On Saturday, I will be offline. And on Sunday, we're going to be working on more tabletop RPG stuff. This week's weekly tip is that the point doesn't matter. We all have to get up in the morning. I will be preparing a raid out into Brent Daniel, I believe, who is going to be doing Darkest Dungeon 2 shortly. He's in his pre-stream yapping. Love yourselves, love others, tell people you care about that you care about them, and of course, crank it like it owes you money. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day.